What's going on, everybody? It's that always fucking happens every fucking time. Never fails. What's going on, everybody? It's Sunday afternoon, and we figured we wanted to come on here and stir up shit because why not? We're gonna talk about definitely some spoilery things about I'd say the opening third of Halloween Ends. We're just gonna do it. Because, maybe it'll trigger more people and they can eat a bag of dicks. Joining me on this fun Sunday Q&A, he is, they both are really, co-hosts of the Phantom Empire show on Tuesday nights. Mr. Johnny, what's going on, man?
Not a whole heck of a lot, if I'm being really honest. I'm trying to...
I think your input changed.
Did it? Am I not?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did.
All right, that's it. Well, that's weird. It says coming back through the same.
You couldn't intro the one who's got his shit together already?
Kiss my ass.
Trust me, I'm pretty sure that everybody here. Jerry, you got to hear it on this end, right? The audio.
Actually, I'm running on a USB receiver for my headset right now, and I'm kind of running into problems with it, so I may mess around with that. But my mic's good, as far as I know.
Yeah, Johnny's was just good until we went live, and then he sounds like he's, I don't know, hollow. Does that make sense?
I don't know why it would be doing that.
You want to try it leaving and coming back in?
Yeah.
StreamYards could be their bullshit. Anyways, Jared, what's going on, man? Nice shirt.
Oh, thank you. I got it on sale on www.shop.com. Actually, probably like a year ago or so. And I've never had the shirt, and I've always thought it was cool, even when I was like an 8-year-old kid watching them fly off the stage at Beach Blast 92. And so, yeah, I figured I'd get the shirt. I'm, getting ready for tonight. And it's going to be a fun night, hopefully, if nobody else stubs their toe on the way into the building.
I come back, and the first thing I hear is a Beach Blast 92 reference. I'm guessing this is the shirt, so we're talking...
Yes, he pointed at the
Falls
shirt.
Falls count anywhere on the Atlantic coast?
I think something like that. Yeah, it was some weird thing. Wasn't it in like a weird state too, like Alabama or something? And they're like having like
I think it might have been.
Show. Yeah, it was so weird. Because when you think of Alabama, you think, oh yeah, I'm gonna go check out the beaches there.
You gotta check out the coast. Definitely gotta check out that coast.
So what's going on, guys? It's Sunday. We didn't intend to do this. We're on here. We're definitely, I'm just warning everybody now, we are going to get into some light spoilers about Halloween Ends in the first third of the movie in this, just because there was that batch of rumors that came out this week, and then somehow our name got brought up in a thread, and all hell broke loose. And I didn't know till much after the fact, and we're going to address some of that on this stream. And in order to do that, though, we need to talk about certain things in the movie. So and certain things that are not in the movie. And we will get to that. But before then, big night for you guys tonight, right? AEW Forbidden Door, AEW, New Japan. I mean, AEW is missing seemingly 2/3 of the roster, it feels like. But
New Japan could say the same thing. They've had 2 guys drop out in the last, 72 hours?
Oh, man. Who now?
Yeah, it's chaos on both ends right now. I mean... Yeah. It sucks, too, because Hiromu was going to be in the 8-man with Shingo, Sting, and Darby, and now it's just down to a 6-man, which, might be a better match overall that way. I think they took Hikuleo out.
Yeah. It's still Phantasmo, thank God. I was afraid it would be the other way.
I don't hate Phantasmo nearly as much as a lot of people do. I know he's over the top and very...
I like that over-the-top element of him because, it is...
You want to punch him in the head, right?
Exactly.
Like that's the point.
It's what he's supposed to be. I love him.
Exactly. I don't get people being all pissed off like, oh, I don't want to see him. He's terrible. Well, that's his gimmick. He's fine in the ring. The heels should have very punchable faces. That's the point.
I'm looking down at my phone right now, and I just noticed the first.
Oh no, somebody else is hurt, right?
Don't say that.
The first thing trending. I haven't checked it yet, but. Is something supposed to be happening with him tonight?
Oh.
I don't know.
I have not heard a single thing about him tonight.
Neither have I.
I missed something.
I know
I was looking at my screen.
I wonder if maybe he's not out that long and he just kind of shows up at the end of the night and, you know, at least makes an appearance or something. Because I can't imagine anything else warranting a, you know, trending.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's strange.
Not seeing anything stand out, so I don't know. Literally just looked down at my phone, like, oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I wish, but not likely. But yeah, those of you that are wrestling fans, AEW Forbidden Door. What time does it start, guys?
7
pre-show.
p.m. pre-show.
Yeah, and there's 3 matches on the pre-show, so you don't want to, you know, skip through it.
How many?
3.
Oh, I thought you said 30 for a second.
No, that's the whole card. I think there's like 13 matches tonight or something. It's crazy. I told Kate it's going to go till like midnight, and she's like, "Oh my god."
Well, the media scrum scheduled for 12:30, so you might have been generous in that.
Oh,
Yeah, I was gonna
seriously?
say,
Yeah.
last one went past midnight, man.
Wait, did they book Martha Hart again?
I don't think they needed to.
All right.
Some delayed horns. Oh boy, man, are we gonna have to sit through one of her speeches every year? Man, not to sound ungrateful, I love Owen, but like,
Yeah, I'm hoping she kind of got everything out in the first speech, and then she can literally just do a short, like, you know, thank you for the interest in the Owen Foundation. It's been a great tournament. Thank you for making Owen's memory live, and here's our champion. And done.
She'll get better at it because I think there's about a 99% chance that the next one concludes north of the border somewhere.
hey, we got
That's
someone
true.
talking wrestling in the chat, and we will get to Halloween. We will get Corey. That guy down there has a lot to say about it. And we actually have some Texas Chainsaw Massacre stuff to get into, so be on the lookout for that too. And then maybe Kenobi at the end, because we still haven't had too much of a chance to get out all of our thoughts there. Predictions: QT Marshall lose, Swerve and Keith lose. So predictions: QT loses, Swerve and Keith lose, Ass Boys and Caster win, Bullet Club beats Sting Crew, Jericho/Sammy win, FTR wins, Miro wins, Ospreay wins, Thunder Rosa wins, Tanahashi wins, and Jay White. Why do I not see Moxley on that list?
Because
Moxley's in the Tanahashi match.
Tanahashi over Moxley.
Oh, Tanahashi. Interim.
I really don't see I mean, they could do it if they wanted. Like, Tanahashi would be fine. He's not doing anything important in New Japan right now. Like, he's in the legend status now where he's the guy who you can count on to have a main event. You can slot him in the main event when you need him, but he's not a guy.
I like the idea, but let's be honest, it's impossible. Based on, I'm going to say 2 letters, and you're going to be like, oh, yeah, right. G1.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
They're not going to let the champion be in Japan for 2 months when you're building up to your biggest pay-per-view of the year. Like, I love the idea of Tanahashi winning the title on paper. Like, I think it's great. And I personally would be all for that because it's different, you know? And
imagine if they gave it away with not announcing Tanahashi for the G1.
I would have
everyone's like, wait a minute, what
they
the
just
fuck?
not announced the full field.
Yeah.
When they did, right? Because they announced all 38 guys, 28 guys, whatever it was.
28 guys, 4 blocks.
And, you know, they didn't leave us any suspense. I mean, the suspense was in the groupings. And let's be honest, it's not a very... If I'm going to be honest, for a field of 28, it's probably the weakest field of 28 they could have fielded.
Well, yeah, they did 48 for New Japan Cup, and you knew there's like a chance of 5 guys in the whole tournament winning.
I mean, it's nice to see some of the guys from, you know, NJUSA making this jump. Like Tom Lawler is great in the field. I like that. And, you know, everyone keeps saying there's no AEW guys in the field, but hello, Lance Archer. I mean, it's an AEW guy. He is in the field, but, you know, there's no...
I think we were hoping for more, like, you know, send Danielson over there for a month. We know he wants to do the tournament.
You know, as much as anything. Like this year, I think the timing kind of screwed that over because, you know, you've got this event now, and then you've got, you know, Blood and Guts next week, and then you've got the build to All Out. You know, you don't really want to take any of your good pieces off the board for the entire build to All Out, which is what you'd be doing.
And right now, it's not like there's very many expendable guys on the roster, only because they're all dropping like flies.
Also true. I mean, I think that plays just equally as huge a factor in this. You're not seeing like a, let's be honest, they could have very easily thrown Adam Page into the G1 and people would have gone crazy for it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like you'd be taking a big piece off the board because
he would have been the perfect guy for it too.
Exactly. I mean, I like the Lance Archer thing, and I like the way they're, playing Suzuki-gun, affiliation with Jericho Appreciation Society. Because if there's any two stables that actually fit, it's probably those two, in a weird sort of way. Even though they're like opposite sides of the coin, it sort of makes sense in a weird sort of way.
Yeah, and speaking of coins, I mean, that reminds me of the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada, and he makes it rain money, and I make it rain wrestling over on Dark Match Drive, the Facebook page, and we make posts, dozens of posts a day. It's insane. I just made a post about Bret Hart and WWF Warzone 1998, the video game, which is kind of fascinating to look at because Bret was out of the company 9 months before the game came out.
My God, I hated that game.
I know, it was so bad. So yeah, come check out the Facebook page.
Come before it.
Actually, I should go. Actually, that's another thing I meant to ask. Why is my links never showing up in the YouTube chat?
Excellent question. Why are they not? Did you try to post it again and it's not showing up?
Let's see. Hang on. I'm going to try throwing it up here.
I mean, I haven't seen you post it. I know I usually do.
Groups, copy. Let's see.
I wonder if YouTube thinks you're spamming. Let's find out here.
That is possible. I'm not sure. Anyway, while we figure that out, I have been just going absolutely insane with uploads on the Google Drive, which is also connected to Dark Match Drive for $10 a month. I've just been uploading, Stardom, Dragon Gate, New Japan, AEW, all sorts of stuff. It's non. I've gotten into uploading podcasts too now.
I hate you for that.
And Johnny kind of nudged me in that direction a couple months ago, and then I kind of slacked on it. And he's like, "Hey, we're missing podcasts." I'm like, "Okay, I'll work on it."
We're still missing some. I'm about to finish the.
What part are you on right now?
I'm finishing 31 of the specials.
Okay. Yeah, there's a gap like right in the middle there.
So I'm missing a gap in the middle of that arc.
Okay.
I'm jumping around on topics that interest me, right? I mean,
yeah, because they like have separate stories for the podcasts where like they'll do 4 shows on ECW's, TNN stuff, or they'll do...
Yeah, and I'm not going to subject myself to 4 hours talking about Wildside. I'm not used.
How dare you? That podcast is amazing.
Speaking of podcasts, our turn for a shameless plug.
Yes.
Episode 1 of House of the Empire is going to come out tonight. So that'll be available on our YouTube channel tonight, and then we're recording 2 more episodes tomorrow. So we're looking forward to that. Check it out. Honestly, we've talked a lot of Game of Thrones sporadically on this channel, and I've already re-listened to this full show. And Johnny, you were a part. No, you weren't part of this one. You were part of the next one. But this particular discussion is, in my opinion, the best Game of Thrones discussion we've ever had on the channel, and I'm hoping that we can build off of it this coming week. So check it out, because Game of Thrones is hot and heavy in the news. You have House of the Dragon dropping in less than 2 months' time. You have the Jon Snow prequel now confirmed to be in official development with George R.R. Martin on board with Kit Harington. They already have a showrunner and an executive producer in place, but they are not allowed to name it at this time. George R.R. Martin sounded a little peeved that the information got out there. So yeah, things are really, really rolling. It's not just a rumor. It's legit. Let's just hope that their pilot is better than Blood Moon, or it'll be another $80 million down the drain. Yeah. You guys are still excited for the pay-per-view though tonight, right? I mean, obviously there's a lot of guys missing, but it's
not the card we were supposed to get. But I'm It's not going to be a bad show. Get that off the table. It's impossible to have a bad show with this level of talent across the board. Is it what we were expecting? Probably not. I mean, a month ago, you're thinking, oh my God, we get New Japan versus AEW. This is going to be amazing. We can get all these stars against each other. And it's just kind of like, we didn't get Punk and Tanahashi. We didn't get Ospreay and Andrade. There's another one too. We didn't get Danielson and Zack Sabre Jr. So it just feels like a lot of steam was taken out of this potential card. And I mean, obviously, I think they're going to do another show down the road. And, that's 3 matchups right there that, I mean, I don't know if the politics will allow the Andrade thing to sort itself out, but I mean, we're going to get Punk and Tanahashi at some point. We're going to get Danielson and Sabre at some point. So, I mean, I guess just got to hold off on that and hope for a good show overall. And at least AEW will end up with a champion finally. It's been kind of a lull the past, 3 weeks now. So, that'll give the show a bit more direction.
Yeah.
I think as far as missing people or not getting quite what you want, I mean, yeah, there's some things that, aren't quite what I expected. Obviously the top of the card is different, which sort of changed the, Jericho Goon Blackpool Combat Club match to a much worse match because now it's just confusing. You had Shota Umino to Eddie Kingston and Wheeler Yuta with nothing in common.
It works only because Shooter is kind of like proxy.
I understand,
Blackpool.
But that's why it made sense because Moxley was his, Moxley took him under his run during his first New Japan run after he got released, and that made sense, and that's why they made that allusion on the promo. But without Moxley actually being on the team, it feels weird.
Yeah.
Because it is what it is there. I mean, the lack of
Suzuki feels more at a place than anyone in that match,
to a degree, but there's really nowhere else you could have put him on the card. For being honest, I mean, where else would you have put him?
Jericho Appreciation Society is a weird thing for where you shoehorn a New Japan guy in there.
I think if we'd have known that Ishii was going to end up getting hurt, I think Minoru would have been a much better choice for the All Atlantic Championship match.
Yes.
Because that I'm sorry, but the idea of Miro and Minoru just throwing punches at each other excites me greatly. But it's more the missing people that I don't like, and even then, there's only one really that I point to be like, man, this card's missing him, and that's Andrade. Because as much as I like Orange Cassidy, Will Ospreay, which I do, because they're playing it up. I don't know if you've been watching the Twitter feud going back and forth between the two of them. They've been going back and forth on Twitter all week, and it's been fun. I'm enjoying that. I know Kate posted some of it in EMD earlier this week, but there's really nobody missing that I'd be like, man, I'm really missing. I mean, Danielson, yes, him and ZSJ, that's a match I've wanted for
years and years.
I mean, all you have to do is look at the awards and say that the two of them hold 25 best technical wrestler awards. They literally named it after Danielson after he was forced to retire the first time, and then
Zack Sabre won the next 7
every year since until Danielson came back and Danielson took his title back. It was beautiful stuff, and we're missing that. But assuming the replacement is who at least I believe it to be, I'm okay with that. Punk in the main event, I think, is the bigger miss. But at the same time, Tanahashi and Moxley have been, poking and goading at each other for the better part of 2-3 years at this point. I mean, this goes back to pre-pandemic that Moxley has been, angling himself for a match with Tanahashi. So, that's fine. I'm actually okay with that because it is a match that has been being built up in New Japan for the better part of 3 years. So I'm okay with that.
So you gotta admit that this time next year, if they did Forbidden Door again, the idea that you could have Omega, Punk, and Danielson all on the card would make it one hell of a follow-up Forbidden Door. That's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. There's no question in my mind that we're not going to get another one of these. You know, the only question then becomes, do we do it in the U.S. again? You know, I think there's a good chance that they may take it overseas, take it over to Japan, and sort of use that as the introduction of AEW into the Japanese market. Because if you look at the top of their roster, it's ripped from New Japan circa 2016, 2017. I mean, their main events could be built around guys who've main evented at the Tokyo Dome. So I like the idea of them going over to Japan for the next one, but I think it'll be fun. We're gonna get some AEW guys crossing over, and quite frankly, if FTR doesn't take all the belts tonight, I'm gonna be pissed. Because I want that to happen so badly. And then we can have the real winner-take-all match. I mean, at this point, we're basically booking TNA in 2006, was it, with the Angle feud, the Angle Joe feud?
Yep.
Where Angle won the IWGP title from Brock, and him and Joe feuded for all the belts.
Yeah, because Brock refused to go back over and put Tanahashi over for the title.
And then they ended up having to have the match in IGF.
Yeah.
Which was weird.
And then Nakamura finally ended up getting the title back the following year from Angle.
Yeah. So, I'm okay with, this sort of workaround to that, having FTR win all the belts and, and then become two-time AEW tag champs at All Out when they beat the Young Bucks for all the belts. I don't want it to be a ladder match because that's just no.
FTR in a ladder match feels awkward.
Yet at the same time, I think it would be amazing.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I think it would be...
I don't know. Is there any Brett ladder match spots they could steal?
Well, the entire WrestleMania 10 match was a Brett match. We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
I mean, all the spots Razor Shawn did were spots that, were pretty much in the Shawn Brett ladder match. And
Brett's talked about that before, too, quite a few times.
I mean, all he wanted them
Brett's
to do was
sitting backstage watching
and
the
then
match.
they used his finish.
My spot.
Well, it's because they used his finish. That's what pissed him off the most, was that they used his finish. And he'd ask them not to use, just do something different. Just use a different finish. You're good.
Yeah.
This was when they were all friendly. So it's you guys are great workers. Come up with something on your own. Don't steal my shit.
So
I'd like to use that down the road.
For those of you that are waiting for this in about 5 minutes time, so if you want to get a drink, take a pee, take a poo, a quick one, not a long one, walk the dog quickly, do whatever, wank it, whatever. Halloween.
I mean,
I've done all four since I've been here on the show.
Normally, we don't dive headfirst into spoiler talk on a live stream, but since people want to throw shit around and without cause and start drama and shit, that I think we've done a decent enough job keeping ourselves out of. I just want to clarify a few things for our audience, because the last thing I want is anybody who spends their valuable time watching us being misled by anybody else. So we'll talk about the first, half of Halloween Ends. Not all the details, not even close, but a certain something to debunk a few other things. And by the way, Solid, I don't believe for a second the shit that you're selling in the chat. We'll be back right after this. It's a bit brash. Dean's going full heel. And we're back. What's going on, everybody? We are talking Halloween Ends, and if you're somebody who doesn't want to be spoiled on anything at all in the movie, that way, go get out.
Yes, come over to me.
Yes, sign up to the Dark Match Drive immediately, right now. Anyway, let me get rid of this 80s porn music in the background here. All right, here we go.
And we just lost 5 viewers.
Terrence will be a part of Halloween Ends. End of story. Oh, he wishes. He wishes.
I was going to invite him over for Forbidden Door, but he kept calling the show a piece of shit.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, I don't want your negativity. He told me to go pound sand.
Yeah, the last time
I would say to pound sand. Doesn't sound like Terrence.
He had told me that he didn't care where the last lightsaber duel took place between Obi-Wan and Vader, as long as it was nowhere that was sandy or rocky, and he got both. So
I mean, I don't know if I'd agree with the rocky part. It was pretty rocky.
Yeah, I'm saying it was rocky and sandy. It was both.
Oh, you say he did? I thought you said he.
Yeah, he didn't want either, and he got both.
Right.
So
Okay.
He might be in Arizona again, for all we know. So I haven't heard from him since, and it's been over for like a week now almost. So
you say that like it's a bad thing.
I mean, sometimes it's fun to have Terrence around to make an idiot of himself. So anyways, so earlier this week, I don't remember the day, but I remember my phone blowing up. And
did you get a new one?
And no, I just fixed the current one. And I was a little puzzled by what had gone on. And I guess the fellas over at Wham had tweeted something out, and then one of our audience members, who is also one of their audience members, tagged us in a post, to which Wham rather passive aggressively, I guess, refers to us as basically a bunch of shitheads who don't know anything. At least that's the way it reads. Apparently that it's not. I got like a dozen messages, guys, from some of our viewers who, don't get me wrong, I appreciate the support, but believe it or not, the channel is not my first job. So it's what I can do on the available time that I do have when I'm at home. So my phone blows up, and then it's like, oh, McRae's getting in on it too, and McRae's throwing Fandom Empire under the bus too. And I'm like, what? And like, so I start reading through it all, and honestly, and I talked with a couple of people at our channel if I was even going to address this or not. But since I'm still getting messages as of yesterday on this, I'm going to address it. I don't know what happened. I know there was a bunch of leaks, which we're going to jump into here in a second. But I will say this regarding the whole Wham post. And again, I don't know them like at all. I've had a couple of very brief interactions with them. That is it. But nobody, no matter what your standing is in any community, no matter how big your following is, has any right to tell anybody else that they shouldn't be making whatever content. They're not the content police. They're not gatekeepers, even though they seem to be acting like they are. They have a great community over there that they've built. They have a wonderful product. It's an incredible business that they've built over there. Why they feel the need to constantly get triggered by smaller channels, whether it's us, which I've seen no hard evidence to support that it is, but there seem to be people that think that it is, or anybody else, or people smaller than us, or people bigger than us. It doesn't matter whether you have 5 subscribers, 5,000 subscribers, or 5 million subscribers. As long as you're following the YouTube code of conduct, make whatever fucking content you want, and who gives a shit what anybody else says? Nobody else gets to determine what you do with your channel and how you spend that time. If other people want to get triggered about it, go ahead, get fucking triggered about it. That's just the way it is. I don't know if you guys have some thoughts on this. Johnny, you actually had a better idea of what was going on than I did because I was at work and you were showing how we'd gotten brought up on it. But just your thoughts on the just the gatekeeping mentality that seems to be going on, whether it's with them or anybody else.
Well, it's no fun. I mean, like you hit it pretty well on the head when you said that, do what you want to do. I can't, this. Nobody should control anybody else's content. I mean, it's as simple as that. Each individual person who puts the time and effort into creating content at whatever, level they choose to, whether it's someone like us who puts some time and effort into it, or somebody who just literally takes their phone and throws selfie mode and records themselves talking for 5 minutes. It doesn't matter who you are or what you're passionate about. Nobody's, the only people who should have any control over that are, the legal content rights holders. So, I mean, if Blumhouse or Universal or whoever wants to jump down our throats and tell us, dictate how we do things, fine. But they're the only ones who can, because, whether it's, Disney for Star Wars or whomever, it has that content. Nobody else is in control of that but us, and it's ridiculous that other people, sit there and, try and make themselves seem bigger or more, important. That nobody's important. I mean, let's be honest. I doubt very greatly. I imagine that the number of people who put content on YouTube whose names are known in the Disney offices or the Universal offices or Blumhouse or any other place like that is maybe countable on one hand. And it's not the people who are trying to pretend they're hoity-toity bigger than what they are, because it's not. Those are the people that get blown off by, corporate. It's ridiculous that they try and pretend that that's not true. Like they're self-important. I mean, and it's ridiculous. Nobody doing this should be self-important. It's ridiculous.
Jer, any thoughts?
I honestly agree. I think at the end of the day, like, yeah, you're a fan of the content. You're allowed to express your opinions and your views on said content. It doesn't have to be the same as anyone else's. Like for me with wrestling even. Yeah, Johnny might not agree with the fact that the Young Bucks are the greatest tag team in the last 15 years.
I didn't for a very long time.
But if I want to go on YouTube,
train ride.
Yeah. So if I want to go on YouTube and talk about that, then it's entirely within my rights to do so. But I'm not like putting out false information or telling people, hey, this is wrong. No, you can like whatever the fuck you want to like. You know, I think certain wrestling companies are trash. You are entirely within your realm to enjoy the fuck out of them. Knock yourself out. That's the whole point of content. You know, we consume content, we develop opinions and thoughts about said content, and share said opinions. Sometimes people agree, sometimes people disagree. But at the end of the day, like, it's not this, hey, I'm up here, you're down here. Like, no, you know, we're all just trying to get by in a post-capitalist society.
Yeah, it is frustrating. And again, to be clear, I have no hard evidence that says that they were referring to us, other than basically everybody thinks they're referring to us. So it's pretty telling when, you know, my phone blows up being like, hey, did you hear? Did you hear? Did you hear? Did you hear? And it's like, no, I didn't, because I'm at my actual job at the moment. So it is frustrating. Let me tell you something else that doesn't work the way that they presented in their little triggered tirade is I don't consider us scoopers at all. We're lucky enough to know a couple of people connected over with certain parts of Universal. And we're lucky enough to know a few people connected over on the Lucasfilm side, whether it's directly or indirectly. And so, yeah, we get information, and yeah, we'll share that information when we're allowed to share it, and you know, make content out of that information. And more times than not, it is right, and not just like 55-45. It's more like 75-80% we're right, and sometimes we're wrong. And hey, when we're wrong, we own it. But don't go telling every other fucking content creator, hey, when you get something wrong, there should be a rule in place where you got to give up your source. That's not how it fucking works in any journalist industry. Not to say that I'm a journalist, because I'm fucking not. But, like, I don't understand how you could have such a dipshit take like that and put it out there publicly and not have your audience look at you and go, oh, wow, you're a fucking idiot. Like, pardon my language. Sorry, guys, but Johnny, we'll move on to the Halloween Ends stuff, but this is in relation to that, because this is about those Halloween Ends rumors that came out, not via us. I believe they originated on Reddit. There's a bunch of them, and I'm here to tell you that some of those are true and some of them are not, and we're going to sort through what is true and what's not. And you're being sold a bag of bullshit by certain people. And we want to just clear that up so people have a better idea what's going on. And for the record, anybody that's trying to stir up shit, Dave and I have already spoke at length after this. Dave was never once referring to us. And he was actually really confused as to how people took it that way. So, and Dave's still going to be on the channel relatively soon. So, as for the Wham guys, great content creators, great business. Should probably spend more time worrying about their own content, though, than everybody else's. Johnny?
Yeah, wham, bam, no thank you, ma'am.
I mean, what he said, you know, I mean, there's no need to be name dropping anyone in a, you know, an unfriendly way. I mean, you know, if I learned a very long time ago, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything. And while I don't exactly live by that code when it comes to talking about movies, TV shows, video games, or anything like that, I will, you know, live by that code as far as, you know, other content creators go. I mean, you know, if I don't have anything nice to say about your content, I'm just not going to talk about your content. You know, it's as simple as that. I mean, if Jer loves your stuff, great. You know, if I don't, that's fine too. You know, I mean, there's been many times that we've, you know, that you know, Jared, myself, or even Sean and myself talked about podcasts that we listen to or people that we listen to, and it's like, yeah, no thanks, not for me, and that's it. You know, like it's as simple as that. If you don't like their content, don't watch them. Don't talk about them. Don't drag them through the mud. You know, don't insult
Well, we literally
them.
just did that earlier in the show. You said, "Oh, I don't care to listen to people talk about Wildside for 3 hours," and I'm like, "Oh yeah,
well,
I get
I'm not
that.
saying
They
you
also
can't.
have
You know,
ECW stuff."
Exactly. I mean, I don't like listening to you talk about Wildside for 4 hours, but I will listen to you talk about ECW for 4. I'll listen to you talk about the death of World Class for 12. Like, there are topics that I listen to people on, even if they're, generally don't have other stuff. I mean, I know there's people that don't watch our Star Wars content or watch our Halloween content, and that's fine. That's, you watch the stuff you're interested in. It's as simple as that. And if you're not interested in it, don't insult the channel because we're making Star Wars content. This is a Halloween channel. No, it's not. It's a fandom channel. Talk about whatever you want. If you don't want to listen to us talk about that particular topic, don't click on that video. It's not rocket science.
It was never ever intended to be just a Halloween channel. Not to knock the people that are here to watch Halloween stuff. That's great, because guess what? When Halloween Ends comes and goes, and 90% of these other YouTube creators stop creating Halloween Ends or Halloween content, because they will, that's how it works, this channel and select other channels will still keep focusing on Halloween. Maybe not as much, but we will. Like, we already intend to do a whole behind the scenes series on each movie where we bring someone in that's been involved in each one of those productions to talk about that movie. That is something that we have planned for next year, and we're looking forward to it. The Halloween content is going to continue at the channel, but it was never intended to be just Halloween. I know there's people that like to put that out there. And I mean, it was never Halloween Empire. It was always fandom something, so. Anyways, let's address these rumors, fellas. So this is some of the stuff that came out last week. Not all of it. This is just like a brief rundown that someone gave me. A batch of rumors came out via Reddit, I believe. Big shock. And it said the movie starts with Michael Myers going to that radio tower that we heard so much about. The police find him, shoot him off the radio tower, and he dies. The movie opens with Michael Myers dying. Then the movie focuses on, again, this isn't me saying this is me saying what the leak said. The movie focuses on Allison battling evil demons. It does not clarify if it's inside her head or not. I'm assuming that's what it means. Haddonfield dealing with the fallout of the past 4 years. A new youngster with issues resembling Michael's as a child. Town is split on if they're really safe or not. Some leave, some go. So half of that, to be on the level with you all, is fairly accurate. Which might piss some people off. Just being honest, half of it is true. I'm going to let you figure out what parts, but I'm going to specifically tell you what is not true. Michael Myers does not get killed in the first 15 minutes of this movie. Michael Myers doesn't die before the intro credits in this movie. They're not doing we see Michael die at the beginning, and then we have the events that lead up to that, and then we go back to Michael's death at the end. To my knowledge, nothing like that happens. Again, there are extensive reshoots happening right now as we talk. So things could change. And if we're wrong, we'll fucking own it. If we're wrong, we got it wrong. But to our knowledge, you're going to be waiting, somewhere in the, from what I've been told, 30 to 40, maybe even 45-minute range before you even see Michael Myers in Halloween Ends, which might piss another group of fans off, because the movie's probably going to be at most an hour and 45 minutes, an hour and 50. It probably won't clear 2 hours. I know everybody wants it to be longer, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be. But to our knowledge, we're waiting, somewhere in the range of around 40-ish minutes for Michael to appear in the movie, maybe slightly more. And the reason for that is 4 years have passed in this time span. And you need to get caught up with the characters that we're following. You need to lay the foundation. You need to see where Haddonfield is and these other issues. And there are other issues that are happening with who's left in Haddonfield. So, like, the beginning 40 minutes of the movie, as we understand it, is more about catching the audience up on what the hell everyone's going through and what their mindsets are before we get into the final Blumhouse Michael Myers story in the back, half, 2/3 of the movie or so. So when you see leaks to talk about Michael this or Michael that in the first 15 minutes of the movie, and considering reshoots aren't even done yet, those leaks, for the most part, are bullshit. However, sometimes you got to be careful, because sometimes someone will put leaks out there where half of it is true and half of it is bullshit. And in this case, the whole leak wasn't bullshit. Half of it is true, half of it is accurate, and then half of it is some sort of acid trip fan fiction that wants to see Michael fall off a radio tower in the first 10 minutes of the movie. Because, like, yeah, the fan base really took Laurie getting killed in the first 10 minutes of Resurrection well. I wonder how well they'll take Michael Myers dying in the first 10 minutes of Halloween Ends. Gentlemen, thoughts? I don't know how much Johnny's heard. He looks like he's having a different conversation, but thoughts on that?
Not a different conversation. I'm chasing a crown.
Gotcha.
I mean, I qualified. I didn't think I would. Okay.
Specifically on having to wait to see Michael.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Halloween movie. I mean, you always have to wait a bit to see Michael. I mean, usually it's not too long.
Fucking Taco Bell.
What?
Michael spent 40 minutes in the bathroom. He's probably been eating a whole lot of Taco Bell.
You had me very confused there for a second, but there's definitely a lot. There's always time spent doing other things at the start of a horror movie like this. Like, if we have to wait, 20 minutes to see Michael for the first time, I personally have no problem with that, as long as the story is appropriate. We know there's a time jump in this. We know that, you're going to have to reestablish certain things outside of Michael. So, yeah, there are things that need to be dealt with story-wise that, neither include nor should include Michael. I mean, so him not being around for, say, the first 20, 25 minutes of the movie is not a bad thing to me. And, if you think that it is, then you need to sort of expand your thinking, because you're thinking wrong. You don't need Michael in the first 5 minutes of the movie. Like, it just, it doesn't, if all you want to see is people get sliced and diced, put on another horror movie.
Watch Halloween Kills.
Exactly.
That's what that movie's meant for.
You got all those kills early in that one. This time you're going to need to spend some time, talking about.
Sorry, Johnny, 1 second. Callum, I've let the message go like 3 or 4 times just because we're talking spoilers, and that one's partially on the nose. You don't need to send the same message 5 times in the chat. We get it, dude. Go ahead, Johnny.
No, my train sort of left the station a bit there, but it's more like 2018, where you didn't get a big Michael presence for the first little bit, and because you had to reestablish the story. And you can't have Michael there for doing that. You need to establish certain things in this. You need to deal with the death of Karen. You need to deal with what they've been doing for the last 4 years. You need to deal with those sorts of things to set the playing field for Michael's return.
They're not the same characters we leave at the end of Halloween Kills. It's that simple. And you need time to figure out what these characters are. What these characters are now. So, but yeah, no, I found the whole, one channel calling out another channel and one Twitter account calling out another Twitter account over leaks. Look, leaks come out for every TV show, every movie. How they're handled depends on who has them, right? And I think we do a decent job of handling ours in a decent way. Sometimes we're right, sometimes we're wrong. But I'm telling you, be prepared for a lot less Michael Myers in Halloween Ends. However, from what I understand, the stuff he is in is as vintage Michael Myers as it gets, and also different Michael Myers. I'm not ready to get into those details yet, other than there's a part of Michael's performance that we have never seen attempted before in this movie. And I'm going to be curious to see how certain audience members react to it. So, yeah.
The fucking musical, isn't it?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, they're going Joker 2 route. Dean's going to be pissed. Halloween the musical. Anyway. What's the chat saying? There's a lot going on in the chat. What is this? A YouTube channel show thingy. We were talking Halloween. We were. There's not a whole lot in there. So let me ask you this, Johnny. I don't even know. You keep up with the video game stuff more than me. Are we going to get the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game this year, or is that something that's being pushed to next year?
I honestly don't know. I haven't. All right, got hit by a giant Saturn.
Tell them that you're doing this stream from the toilet.
I am not. I'm playing Fall Guys because my plan to play Friday the 13th has been thwarted. Apparently, some hackers have decided that since they couldn't release their mod, that they're just going to hack the game.
Oh, that bad, huh?
Yeah, you know how people get. But that's the presumption. Nobody knows for sure, but you're unable of logging on to play any of the online functionality that's still available. But so I switched. I'm playing Fall Guys and I'm chasing the Golden Crown, and now I'm in the final round. What was the question? Wow, my Tommy's showing there.
I don't remember.
Well, Texas Chainsaw Massacre usually.
I'm gonna see if I can search it.
Well, the thing I loved about Texas Chainsaw Massacre is it reminded me of my grandma that I was really close with. Like I grew up with her and we'd watch horror movies, and I would go see my grandma and we'd watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and there would be a Leatherface on the TV and a Leatherface in her chair. Hey Johnny, did you finish The Quarry?
I did finish it. Hi.
How many did you kill?
More than I planned.
That's right.
Yeah, so it sounds like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game will not come out this year. And for the love of God, this shit again. Oh my God. I'll be back in a moment.
You guys remember when Aaron Rodgers used to be a fucking cowboy? He used to have a fucking mustache. He's a badass. What the fuck is he now? Some fucking Big Lebowski fucking piece of shit? Keanu Reeves, Matthew McConaughey, sushi avocado eating hippie? What the
fuck? Johnny, I'll let you take this one. You know the answer to this question. Come on.
What's the question?
Will Michael speak at Halloween Ends?
That question is stupid.
I hope he's like super eloquent.
You know what's funny?
He
Again,
speaks with a British accent.
The whole gatekeeping and calling out, whether they were calling out a Reddit user or us or another YouTube channel. Think about this. Somebody in their little inside clique loves, and he used to be a pretty good YouTube content creator. I mean, still makes quality content. Has been on this whole confirmed Michael Myers talks in Halloween Ends and all these clickbaity titles. And it's like, so wait, you won't call out them because you're buddy, but you'll go call out any smaller channel? Fucking hypocrites. I'm sorry, I can't fucking stand it. There's no place. That in itself is toxic, and they don't seem to register that.
Yeah, I mean, you don't go after the little guy. I mean, it's as simple as that. Like, if you want to tackle one of the bigger channels for perpetrating, falsehoods they know to be false, then that's one thing. I mean, we've done that, but we tend to do it without naming names. We'll just talk about the story and debunk what it is that they're saying, without actively calling them out. But you don't go after the little guy for doing that. I mean, they're struggling, and sometimes you have to be a little more out there with the things you discuss, and you play a little more fast and loose with certain elements, and then you do the mea culpa when it turns out that you're wrong. So I mean, don't pick on the little guy. I mean, that's just bullying, period. No matter what it is, just don't pick on the little guy.
It just came across so fucking incredibly cringe, and yeah, I mean, it doesn't even matter if they were talking about us. Just there's no place for that. Anyways, you two check the private chat when you can, please. So the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game I just read will not make it out this year. It'll be a 2023 release, and that actually makes me happy because whenever it does come out, it is going to be like the Friday the 13th game, but hopefully far less buggy. That would be fantastic. The other piece of news on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre front is it sounds like Netflix is nearing a deal to do 2 follow-up movies to the movie that came out this year that wasn't received particularly well. And yet seems like, I mean, Netflix seems to turn whatever they want into content. So if you're a Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan, it does sound like there are 2 follow-up movies coming to Netflix. And on top of that, it also sounds like at least some tinkering has begun on the next Fear Street trilogy. So it's a couple of horror pieces of news for everybody out there. On the Obi-Wan Kenobi front, quickly here, I really need to sit down and just binge the whole show. I do think, like, after seeing it, it feels like you're meant to see it all in one sitting. And Johnny, I don't know how you feel about it, but Kieran and I have talked openly about maybe doing like an event for it, like all at the same place. Just maybe record our audio for it and put it on Patreon or whatever. But just chill, hang out. I don't know if you have any interest in that, but it's something we would like to do in the not too distant future. I'm sure someone has spliced together a 4K version of this series complete without intros and outros now. It's been out long enough. Someone's had to do it. If not, I'll do it myself. I mean, I didn't just
4K. Do you know how much hard drive space that'll take up?
a ton. I know
I'm a 720 guy personally.
We
shot our fan film in 4K.
That was stupid.
Yeah. In hindsight, I regret it. So
1080p at the high end.
Yeah, that.
You remember the one week I accidentally recorded the inside handoff in 4K, Jer?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Whew.
Trying to upload that on YouTube. It's taking a little while.
Like 2.5 days.
Ken says he's excited to hear Fear Street is continuing. Me too. I love those movies. I think they're great. That's another binge I want to do. I want to watch 3 of those movies. And did you see them?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I loved them. I thought they were great.
I really loved the first one. I don't know what about it, but it just felt like a perfect story. And it just, I don't know. I thought the third one kind of came along a little slower than the other ones, but then once it picked up, it really picked up. And I am here for all the Fear Street content.
The third one. I don't think I can find it again, but there's a funny story with our channel in the third one. Basically, Jade and I, and this is before she's pregnant. Both got super stoned, and so the first movie is the first 20, 25 minutes of that third movie pretty fucked up. And like we were possibly higher than we'd ever been in our lives. And the voice chats we were sending, the group chat.
It was a very interesting evening.
Oh no.
No.
Jade's like, the third one, don't you dare play that. I don't know where it is. I wish I did know where it was. I would play it, but I don't know where it was now.
That was one of the old group chats.
Yeah, it'd be almost impossible to find. So
Yeah, that was probably on ICQ.
Not that old, buddy. Not that old.
Ken says Obi-Wan Kenobi does look fan film quality. The cinematography looks cheap. I will say this: I don't think any of it looks fan film quality. But there are production issues with the show between episode length, episode pacing, and just the look of the show. But I thought it got past that in 5 and 6. I mean, 6 feels like right off the beginning with the Star Destroyer. Like it feels like in a span of 10 seconds you're in A New Hope, and then you're in Empire, and then you're in this new story. It's clear the budget went to there. I just hope whenever season 2 comes, whatever they're going to do for it, as long as they still follow through with it, sounds like that's a given. I really hope that they spend some more money, because like if there's a project that deserves it, probably Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I know our buddy Matt wants to see them fight again in a follow-up season. I don't. You need to move on from that. Maybe in like a Vision thing, if you want to have even Obi-Wan face off against Anakin again in some sort of Vision, that would be cool. And I do believe they'll involve Hayden on some level, but it'll be a different story, and hopefully they spend more money. I did hear Ken Knapsack of the Force Center put out there, hey, instead of doing a series, why don't they just do like a 2.5-hour movie, whether it's for cinemas or Disney Plus? And I got to be honest, I wouldn't be against that. So we'll have to wait and see. All right, we're going to do some AEW Forbidden Door predictions here to close this out. And if anybody has any other questions that they want to send in, whether it's related to Halloween, horror, movie news, Star Wars, wrestling, anything you guys want to talk about, send it in and we will address it. I'm going to address Lee's comment here first, though. Sean, what's your thoughts about Jason Blum wants to do Nightmare on Elm Street and bring back Robert Englund back for one last time? I think it's a bad idea. I think that they need to cast someone else as Freddy Krueger and begin the process of moving on. But I will say this, all signs seem to be pointing with them really wanting to do something with Nightmare on Elm Street. So I do think we're going to see a lot of rights changes in the next 12 to 18 months. We'll have to see, though. That's speculation at best. Jer, you got the AEW card here. We're going to go through this quickly. We're not going to spend too much time on it because we got to get out of here. I don't know half these people, so I'm going to be winging this. Mine's going to be terrible. Hannahtown Bill Bauer says Triple H is back.
Indeed, he is. Well, we don't know in what capacity yet, but he had the speech at NXT this week basically saying, I'm back. We don't really know the context of it, but guess we'll see what happens down there. I think the yellow and black brand is generally dead, at least his vision for it. But I mean, him being back means something, because he had essentially his power taken from him last year at some point when they got their ass handed to them by AEW in the ratings. So I don't know what it means, but I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, we will. Jer, so maybe we'll do it this way. You'll bring up a match.
All right.
I'll take my guess. Johnny takes his guess. You take your guess. Johnny, do you have a notepad to log this stuff down? Awesome. And then we'll talk about our predictions on Tuesday's show at the end of the Phantom Empire show. So, Jer, walk us through the card, man.
All right, let's see here. Where is it? What? Making me scroll. Okay, there we go. Oh, my scrolling is slow. Oh, God. Oh, God. My mouse is freezing. Okay. All right. So we got some pre-show matches. The opening 8-man tag, the Gun Club and Max Caster versus the LA Dojo of Alex Coughlin, Yuya Uemura, Kevin Knight, and the DKC.
No, it's my new favorite stable. Whatever they're going to be called, those guys, they're going to win. Gun Club and Max Caster for sure. Those guys just come off so well together. I fucking love them.
I agree. They're perfect. Like, it felt like something they just threw together, right?
God, I was dying.
Right? It's like just this random thing on TV they throw together, and then it's just boom! Holy shit, this is amazing. So I'm stoked for any time they're on TV.
Yeah, I'm definitely down for Team Scissor Crew because there's no way any of the LA Dojo boys are gonna get over on Billy Gunn.
That's true. All right, we got the Factory of QT Marshall.
Are you on the same team? You didn't pick yours, sir.
Did I pick?
No,
Oh, you did.
Gun Club and Max Caster.
Yeah, right.
For sure. Yeah, okay, so we got 3 pre-show matches. So next pre-show match, the Factory of QT Marshall and Aaron Solo against Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi. I know Sean is a big Yoshihashi fan.
Can you repeat that, please?
Hiroki Goto, the guy who was almost in the main event of this show a week ago. He's now been relegated to the pre-show. Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi against the Factory of QT Marshall and Aaron Solo.
Well, I'm going to assume it's not going to be QT Marshall that wins, so I'll go with the other guys.
I agree with that. I think they're just going to put over the tag team from New Japan.
Yeah. So chaos for the sweep. The fact you didn't say chaos, just, come on, Jer.
Yeah.
Clearly, that's a chaos team.
It's true. The final pre-show match, Swerve in Our Glory, Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland against Suzuki-gun of El Desperado and Yoshinobu Kanemaru.
Wait, did you pick the last one there?
He did. He also took
Yes.
TKO.
I'm going to go with Swerve and Keith.
Yeah, I think I really like El Desperado, and I hate going against him. But yeah, I don't think the Suzuki-gun team really gains anything from going over Keith Lee and Strickland. So Swerve in Our Glory over.
Swerve and Keith are actually a tag team. Cannemore and who's the other one?
El Desperado.
And Desperado. They're not. They're just 2 members of a stable. So that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one's kind of awkward, but Zack Sabre Jr. versus To Be Announced.
I'm going to go with To Be Announced.
I agree. I think it's too awkward of a situation to bring a guy in with this much fanfare. I mean, it's one of the most interesting things on the whole pay-per-view. We don't know who it is. We've got ideas of who it is.
I've heard 2 names that I would know of. And it was Cesaro or Bray Wyatt. And
yeah.
It's not going to be Bray Wyatt. That makes no sense.
I don't. I'm just telling you 2 names I heard. Jeez, calm down.
I can honestly say I've never heard Bray Wyatt's name suggested.
I have heard Wyatt referenced.
He was literally.
I've heard Wyatt referenced, but not in this match.
It seems unlikely, but I mean, anything happens. I'm disappointed. Okay, I think people are going to be unfairly disappointed if it's not Cesaro, and I think that's unfair.
I think they'll be okay if it's Johnny Wrestling.
Yeah, or even Hero.
Hero, I don't know. Hero's a little too niche.
Who else could it be, though? I don't.
It's one of those 3. There's no question in my mind. It has to be a technical wrestler who has a history with Brian. And let's be honest, I don't know about you, but Claudio Castagnoli being forced to team with Eddie Kingston inside Blood and Guts, chef's kiss.
I hope it's him, but we will see. Up next,
I think we're all team TBD on that one.
Yeah. I think so.
I learned a long time ago, never bet on the unannounced guy. I never bet against the unannounced guy.
Yeah, and if you put a guy in a box, he's going to get over.
Hannah's Town Bill Bowers says Ric Flair match July 31st. I mean this with the utmost respect, and I'm probably the only person here on this panel that means this. I would sooner watch Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 on replay for 48 hours than ever watch a current Ric Flair match, period.
He has a pacemaker. What the hell is he doing in the ring?
Well, I could say this
It's
much.
going to be Ric Flair's last match, literally.
I'm going to watch it, and in part, it's the car crash of it all. You know, it's like that train wreck. You want to turn your head away, but you can't. You just have to watch it. But the rest of the card they've announced so far actually looks really good. So, much more. I mean, Josh Alexander and the Fatu that Vince wishes he could sign.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go through the rest of this card quickly here, guys. I gotta get going.
All right, Bullet Club. For one night only, the Young Bucks return to the Bullet Club and team with El Fantasma to take on the Dudes with Attitude, Darby Allin, Sting, and Shingo Takagi.
I'm gonna assume the Bullet Club wins this one.
I'm sorry. I'm just realizing that Dudes with Attitudes was the 6-man tag champions in WCW in 1990. That was
That's
Sting,
the reference.
Michael P.S. Hayes.
There you go. Yep. Yes, this is a 30-year-old reference from WCW. It's fucking amazing.
Oh man, I didn't until you said it right there, and it's like I just happened to look to my left, and I've been watching a bunch of Clash of the Champions. I'm on Clash 17 now from November '91. It's like, wait, Dudes with Attitudes. I just heard that. Oh my god, that was the 6-man stable with Sting to fight the Horsemen.
Yep.
Paul Orndorff was in that stable too. Awful.
Yeah,
group.
Elegante. Not a good.
Well, Elegante was later.
Yeah.
But I digress.
I don't know, honestly. Like, I could see Darby, Sting, and Shingo only because I see El Fantasmo being a guy to take the fall. So yeah, I think the Dudes with Attitude over. Did Johnny pick?
I'm with Jer. I think it's the Dudes with Attitudes. I think we sort of missed an opportunity here. I had very high hopes when this was announced, that especially once the announcement was made last month that Muta was doing his retirement tour. I held out hopes that we would get Muta Sting one last time. I mean, we still might, I suppose, but I was really wanting to see that.
Johnny, go over to the drive, click on a Noah show, fast forward to the Kijimuto match, watch it, and your opinion will change.
Well, I don't want to see it because I expect it to be like it's 1989 again.
Don't watch it and expect it to be any good either.
Well,
motherfucker can't walk.
I don't expect it to be any good now. I just want to see it for the historic value. Make it a tag match. Muta and whatever guy he's apprenticing these days, and Sting and Darby, and I'm okay with it.
All right, let's get into the title matches here. The AEW Women's Championship, Thunder Rosa defends against Toni Storm.
Oh, Toni Storm. Thunder Rosa sounds like she's not very popular backstage at AEW right now. So
yeah, there's been some shit talk going on there, huh?
Yeah.
I don't know. Do they beat Toni and keep the belt? I mean, Thunder Rosa's only held the belt a couple months, so Thunder Rosa. Although I'm on the fence.
I'm with Jer. I think Thunder Rosa keeps the belt after this. I would not be surprised if it's a disqualification finish of some sort.
Yeah.
But I don't think Toni takes the belt here. It just doesn't jive with Toni's booking style.
Yeah. I mean, Britt held the belt for 9 months, so
well, he's very I guess for me the comparison is he's very Gabe Sapolsky in his booking style. He likes to wait to pull the trigger sometimes until it's, and he hasn't quite gone so far that it's too late. Like Gabe did many times.
Mm-hmm.
But he does wait to pull the trigger.
All right, we got a 3-way winner takes all tag team match for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship and the IWGP Tag Team Championship. Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions FTR take on the United Empire of Great O'Khan and Jeff O'Cobb, the IWGP Tag Team Champions. And they also take on Roppongi Vice of Beretta and Rocky Romero.
Did you just say Jeff Conn and Great O'Cobb?
No, but I probably should have.
Right. Can you say that again? I know that was a lot.
FTR, the Ring of Honor Tag Champs.
Okay, that's enough. FTR wins.
Yeah, I'm the whole winner takes all thing makes me feel like FTR. It doesn't even need to be a long run, but get the IWGP belts on them. It's a title they've never won. 7-star FTR. They're probably printing the shirts off already. And they could just drop the belts next month. Even bring Khan and Jeff Cobb back over for a one-off. Put the belts back on him, and happy day. So FTR over.
FTR, FTW.
All right, singles match for the IWGP United States Championship. Will Ospreay defends the title against Orange Cassidy.
I so badly want Orange Cassidy to win. I don't think it will happen, so I'm going to Ospreay.
Yeah, I think Will's going to win. It'll be a different match because Cassidy might actually have to wrestle a serious match, which would be he's a lot better than people give him credit for because of his gimmick. I get it, but I think this might be a sleeper match on the card where people kind of lower their expectations coming in, and turns out to be one of the better matches on the card. But Ospreay over.
Well, I'm going left field. I'm going to take Orange Cassidy for the win by disqualification. Juice Robinson interference.
Okay. 6-man tag match with the winning team receiving the advantage for Blood and Guts. The Jericho Appreciation Society of Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, and Minoru Suzuki versus Eddie Kingston, Wheeler Yuta, and Shota Umino.
I'm going to go Jericho wins.
I agree 100%, only because the heels should always have the advantage for Blood.
In the 30-plus years that War Games has been a thing, have the baby faces ever won the coin toss? There has
been once, and I think it was TNA who did it for Lockdown.
That's not a War Games. It doesn't count.
Fair enough.
That's a Lethal Lockdown. That's
a
second-rate knockoff.
You think Jericho's going over, Johnny?
Oh,
yeah.
It's as soon as they added the stipulation that winner gets the advantage.
Yeah, I mean they're kind of running out of time on that, huh? It's either now or Wednesday or no.
Or they just flip a coin, like tradition.
Yeah, they do the match now. It's weird. I don't know. I missed the coin toss. 4-way match for the AEW All Atlantic Championship. That's a little bit of a mouthful. Pac versus Miro versus Malachi Black versus Clark Connors, a New Japan Dojo guy.
That's for sure.
If anybody's winning, it ain't him.
Oh man, this is tough because I so badly want Malachi Black to win, but Miro's just coming back, so fuck. I guess I'm going Miro, but that's not who I want to win.
I'm in the same boat. I think Miro really raised the prestige of the TNT title when he had it, and I think he would be a really good first champion because he's going to go out there and have great matches every time. There's a lot of guys that he hasn't worked because he's kind of been on the shelf the last 9 months or so. So I could see Miro winning the belt. And also Blood and Guts is this Wednesday night on TBS, I guess, and TSN in Canada. So this Wednesday night at 8 o'clock, 12 men in a cage, 2 rings.
I don't like the 12 men thing. It's 10.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I understand why you had to make it 12. Because
who are you going with, Johnny?
Oh, but Miro. It's the Redeemer's belt to lose.
Really quickly here before we get to the rest of the matches, because I know we got to go here. Lee Bowers, do y'all think Bill Goldberg will go to AEW? Let me answer that by saying...
Well, let me answer that by saying Tony Khan has wanted him since day one. So, maybe?
I hope not. Like, Goldberg is fine.
Used effectively, there's nothing wrong with Goldberg. But it's important that you use him effectively.
Is he going to put any new eyes on the product? I don't think so.
should bring Goldberg in, have him job to friggin' Wardlow in like fucking 2 minutes there. Get the hell
No,
out.
that would be fantastic. Yes, I am all for that because Wardlow is the new Goldberg.
Yeah.
All right, we got a 4-way match.
Way more better in the ring, in my opinion. But
100%.
like,
And he has better hair.
oh, for sure. That fucking do. Johnny Dreams.
4-way match.
Hair's not a barometer of skill in the ring. Look at Arn Anderson.
Fair
Old
point.
Arn. Old Arn.
Yes, we love Arn. The IWGP World Heavyweight Championship is on the line as Jay White defends the title against former champion Kazuchika Okada, Hangman Adam Page, and Adam Cole.
Man. Can I say it'll be won by somebody with the name Adam? Is that fair? I'm gonna go Hangman. I feel like the plan was to have Hangman and Punk go at it again at All Out, and that's clearly not going to happen now. So, Hangman. I'll go Hangman.
I think Jay White will probably keep the belt for now. The only reason I say that is just because he won the title 2 weeks ago. So this show has 12 matches. It's ridiculous. Take your piss breaks when you can on this show.
It'll be a long night.
Yeah, but yeah, I think Jay White will keep the belt for now.
I'm torn because there's two outcomes in this match.
Okay, Natalie.
Wow. I don't know what's worse, that you made a Natalie Imbruglia reference or that I know it's a Natalie Imbruglia reference. Oh my goodness.
I know she got a kick out of it in the other room, so I'm
what?
happy with myself.
Like I said, I can see this match being one of two ways. White could keep the belt, of course. That makes sense. But I'm having flashbacks to 2019. And the last time Jay White defended his title, the IWGP Championship, in a big building in the United States of America against the Rainmaker, he made it rain. I'm flashing back to Madison Square Garden. I am going
Matt
to
Taven.
go out on a limb, and I'm going to pick the Rainmaker.
Okay. And in the main event for the interim AEW World Championship, Jon Moxley goes one-on-one with the ace, Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Yeah, it's Moxley. He did his rehab bit, turned his life around, came back. Final part of the comeback story, wins the title. It's Moxley.
I think Moxley wins the title just because the reasons we had brought up earlier. Tanahashi's booked pretty much for the next month straight in New Japan for the G1 Climax tournament. Moxley, you get a feel-good story with his comeback and winning the title, and then that sets up him and Punk, which they haven't done yet. So it's not so much a retread, even though Moxley would be the first two-time champion. It's more they were going to do
Mox of circumstance, not a reign of planning.
Yeah, and it's as good of a backup plan as you could want.
And even if you want to sit there and be like, well, he's not a two-time champion until he beats Punk. He's the interim champion, and until he beats Punk, he's not the unified. He's not the undisputed AEW World Champion. And I'm fine with that. But I think it's Mox for the exact reason we said, the G1. If Tanahashi was not in the G1, I think that they do it just to shock the wrestling world. Because, it hasn't been done in 30 years that, a Japanese superstar has held a major North American singles title. I'd say the last person that did it was, Sasaki winning the WCW title in 93?
Fujinami in 91.
Didn't Sasaki win it during the
He won the U.S. title in 95.
No, but was he not the NWA champion in that awkward post-Flair period?
Chono was, and then he did the thing.
Chono, okay, then Chono, I guess, will be the last.
Anyway, you two fine folks can have your discussion about which guy beat which guy 2 blocks from here on what Sunday, 32 years from now. Somewhere
Moxley's going to shock the world like the Shock Master.
Seriously,
Uncle Fred's not booked tonight.
I hope everybody enjoyed your Sunday night. I hope if you're watching wrestling that you sit down and you have a good time and you enjoy it with the people around you. If you're watching a movie or a TV show or whatever, enjoy it, because Monday's tomorrow and we all know Mondays suck. So enjoy your Sunday. Appreciate everybody coming out. We'll be back Tuesday with the Phantom Empire show. Jared, where can everybody find you at, man?
You can find me on Twitter at Jamie Virtue for all my wrestling and football takes there. You can find me on Facebook at Dark Match Drive, a wrestling Facebook page. All the content you could ever want there, which is also connected to a Google Drive where I upload over 4.9 terabytes of pro wrestling. It's a lot. It's $10 a month. Hit me up if you're interested. And we also run a Discord for all sorts of wrestling stuff. And it's just nonstop wrestling. So check it out if you are a wrestling fan. Dark Match Drive on Facebook. And yeah, I hope everyone enjoys the pay-per-view tonight.
Johnny, what do you got going on, man, other than chaos in the background, it sounds like?
Well, like I've said before, when you live in the triad of sirens, you're going to hear them all the time.
Yeah.
I got a fire station a block and a half one way, a police station half a block the other way, and an ambulance 3 blocks the other way. Triangle of sirens.
Oh, that's good. Oh, why'd you do that to me? I can't really afford to order out.
Not a big fan of them, to be honest.
They're not the best, but I could go for it right now. Damn you! Anyway, where can everybody find you at, Johnny? You were saying?
Oh, here, there, and everywhere. Bros.
Can I stop finding you under my bed, please?
No. I'll tell you what. Make sure you put up the things I want on the drive, and I'll stop showing up.
Fine.
Simple as that.
I'll finish the podcast tomorrow.
I'm expecting those holes filled ASAP. I'm
right.
at them.
They will be.
No, seriously, you can find me here, there, and everywhere. Bros Before Pros on Twitch. We just finished up the Quarry, our first playthrough of that last week. Planning to start up something new this week. I don't know what yet.
Wow, you're just beating games week in, week out, and the Halo game at Palladium that Jade and I played with Kieran and his wife was the first video game I've beaten in years. It was just really cool, 4-player simulator that was great, and we definitely hogged it for 45 minutes. So, first video game I've beaten in years. Anyway, check it out. Probably later tonight. At this point, it might be tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see. House of the Empire will debut episode 1. We're definitely recording more tomorrow. So by this time next week, you'll have probably 2, if not 3 episodes in your possession. Be on the lookout for that. And then the Phantom Empire show, Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Can't wait to see you all there. We'll see you next time. Check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/Phantom Empire. Join today, because that is, in fact, the way. Good night, everybody. Enjoy.